everybody, welcome back to Dinner and a Tip. My name is Brenda. I'm going to be your cooking guide. So today we are going to go ahead and still kind of cook on our Valentine's menu. This isn't a traditional Valentine's menu, but I'm not a very traditional person, and this can be done anytime. So we're going to do Mongolian beef, which is usually done with a flank steak, but today we're going to upgrade it, and because we're doing fancy, we're going to go ahead and do it with ribeye instead. So the easiest thing to do is let's get started with our sauce. So we're going to go ahead and start with a half a cup of soy sauce. And then we're going to go ahead and do just a tablespoon of rice vinegar. If you don't have rice vinegar, you can certainly go ahead and do just white wine vinegar. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. All right. And then 1 teaspoon of sesame seed oil. If you're missing one of these ingredients, don't make yourself crazy. It's still going to taste just fine. So next up, let's go ahead and give that a quick stir. So the sauce we want to go ahead and do first because I want it to thicken up a little bit. And once we cut the steak, the steak, because it is so thin, is going to cook very quickly. And then I also want to do some fresh ginger, or you could do ginger paste on this one. I'll go ahead and leave the ingredients and measurements in the directions on right below the recipe. So let's go ahead and do that. And then I've got some fresh garlic. You could do ginger paste and garlic paste for this one. Today I just feel like going with the fresh stuff today. Make sure when you're done to go ahead and flip it to the other side to make sure that you're getting all of the goodness there. Next we're going to do some steamed broccoli. So I just went ahead and got some broccoli and went ahead and cut that. And I'm just going to cut this. And I'm going to cook this on probably medium heat. I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit of water down. I'm going to break these guys up. And then I'm just going to cover it with a dome. If you don't have the dome, grab a cookie sheet or a pot. You can pretty much use anything to do that. But steaming it is the best way I've found to do my broccoli, especially when I'm outside. So, and then I'm just gonna do a drizzle of sesame oil on this, not a ton, just a little bit. And then we're gonna hit it with that water again and set it and forget it. Next, we're gonna go ahead and do our steak. So again, it normally goes for flank steak. They didn't have it, and since I was thinking more of this is going to be a Valentine's meal, I'm going to go ahead and do kind of a fancier steak than what I would normally do. So people ask me, why do I wear gloves when I'm just cooking for myself? Well, I don't have time to run in between cooking and cutting the meat, and so I like to just go ahead, use gloves so I can pull it off quickly. So alright, so I've got our steak, and what I'm going to do with this is we're going to go ahead and cut it on the bias. So basically, instead of going this way, we're going to go ahead and shave it. We're going to shave it kind of thin. And for this, either if you pull it out of the freezer, defrosted part of the way, or if you bought it fresh, just go ahead and throw it in the freezer for probably maybe 30-45 minutes. If it's semi-frozen, it cuts so much easier. That's kind of a big piece, but it's not necessarily perfect, but so just go ahead and we're just going to do thin pieces of this. Kind of see how thin that is. Here's like another example. So just thin pieces. So I'm doing this recipe for just 2 people. If you're making this for a group of people, go ahead and double this recipe. But you want to just keep cutting at an angle as best you can. And having it frozen, I'm telling you, makes a huge difference. If you're trying to do this with regular, like this is getting a little bit more defrosted, so it doesn't cut at the angle as much as I would like it to. But when in doubt, make it work, right? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and keep cutting this at the angle. You could do, if you can't find flank steak, skirt steak would be a little tougher because it's so thin, but you could do a top sirloin, you could do T-bone, probably not the best, but we're gonna go ahead and do ribeye today. All right, let's check our vegetables real quick, and those are steaming. Oh, it smells so good. And look at that bright color that you get from steaming them. So we're gonna hit that with just a little bit more water. And I like my vegetables al dente, so I'm just gonna go ahead and turn the heat down all the way on them. Next, let's go ahead and season our steak. So I'm just gonna do some salt and pepper with this. And then I'm going to go ahead and just do a little sesame oil. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of avocado oil when I go ahead and cook it. But next, how to get your steak crunchier, we're going to go ahead and do cornstarch. So we're just going to go ahead, and I like to season our steak first before I do this because then I know the seasonings are already in there. And you're just going to kind of massage the cornstarch into your steak. You don't want it like completely where it's just white. You just want it just a little bit so you know that you got it all on there. All right, so let's go ahead and check our sauce real quick. And this is starting to boil. And I do want this sauce to be a little thicker. Now that it's starting to boil, I'm going to do a little bit of cornstarch and water in this. So I'm going to do a tablespoon of cornstarch, and then I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of water. Just go ahead and pre-mix this before you go ahead and throw this. And what you want to do is you want to get the cornstarch in there. So cornstarch doesn't have like a true flavor, but you want to get it cooked out so you don't kind of taste, it kind of has like a floury taste. So by putting this on here and letting this cook will take care of that. All right, so we're gonna cook that. Next, it is steak time. So we're gonna go ahead, do some avocado oil. We have some sesame oil on here, but I wanna go ahead and make sure that's getting all the way cooked. Our steamed broccoli looks awesome. So for our steak, we wanna go ahead and just spread this out. And I did go ahead and pre-make some minute rice. I did 1½ cups of rice, 1½ cups of water. Follow the instructions on that. For the steak, I'm going to throw down just a little extra oil. And now people ask me about my food photos. And basically, I'm just using my camera. I have a Samsung Ultra 23. Takes great photos, but I'm not editing. I'm not doing anything crazy to my photos. I just take it and upload it. So, all right, our steak is cooking. Now this isn't going to take very long. You can definitely overcook steak. I want to get some of the red out of it, but just a little bit of red for me, depending on how you would normally cook your steak, is what we're going to do here. All right, we've got a good sauce going here. You can see that it's definitely thickened up. And then we're going to go ahead and cook that into our steak. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you how I plate this. One of my best tips for making your food look pretty on plates, super cheap plates. These are like $3 at Walmart, but it just makes your food pop when you're putting it down. All right. The steak just about done, and then we're going to go ahead, throw it in the sauce, and then I'm going to save a little bit of the sauce for on top. So after this, we're going to be doing another dessert for Valentine's. We've done the Black Forest cake. We're going to do a strawberry shortcake coming up too. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you can see all the fancy desserts that we have coming up. And it's amazing. I know most people are like, why would you do it on the Blackstone? Like, why wouldn't you do it on the Blackstone is my thought. So, all right, our steak is cooked to my liking. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw good chunk of this sauce. I want to get it onto our steak and kind of caramelize it on our steak before I go ahead and put this up. Oh my gosh. I wish you could be here to smell this. It's so amazing. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I did cook our steak on high, just in case you're wondering. All right. Let's go ahead and show you how to plate this. So I'm just going to take my cooked rice. I'm just going to kind of lay it out on this plate. You can do this family style, or you can just do this individual. So I just got a nice bed of rice. We'll take our tongs and just gently set our steak going across the top. I'm going to go ahead and grab some of our broccoli, and I'm just going to set this right on the side. You could go ahead and mix it in if you like, but go ahead. And next we've got some green onions that we just kind of cut the onions off, ends off. This just adds a little crunch, a little color, just makes it look a little prettier. And then I've got some sesame seeds that I'm going to throw down next. And there you go. Cheap plates. Definitely do not want colored plates when it comes to this. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Messing up my pretty plate. I love all the seasonings with this. Actually, flank steak is good. Ribeye, so much better if you want to take your ribeye to the next level. Go ahead, subscribe. We'll see you next time.